at ViantCTV.com. Every day, companies you've never heard of are making billions selling your personal information. They scrape your name, addresses, phone numbers, even details about your family, and sell it without your consent. Aura fights back. Aura removes your data from broker sites, keeps it off, and alerts you if your info shows up on the dark web. You also get VPN, antivirus, and a password manager. Start your free trial today at aura.com/listen. Protect yourself now at aura.com/listen.
District's request to obtain a preliminary injunction. It would have prevented the department from freezing its federal funding. The department says the school district is violating Title IX by letting students use bathrooms based on their gender identity. The department placed Fairfax and 4 other Northern Virginia districts on high-risk status, federal funding in jeopardy.
7 News' Adam Longo. After years of working hard to attract data centers, the Prince William County Board of Supervisors took action this week to take a step back.
I appreciate the people who are speaking about jobs that it brings, but what about jobs for the rest of us? We're losing other businesses.
Board Chair DeShundra Jefferson, well aware of the tax money data centers rake in, while noting
data centers have driven up the price of land in this county. That's another thing that has to be addressed.
Unlike previous boards, the current Prince William supervisors rejected one data center project just this week in Bristow. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
We've reached the period that is normally the climatological peak for tropical activity in the Atlantic during hurricane season. The 2025 so far proving to be a bit of an outlier. This year, the atmosphere has favored a quiet pattern so far, and right now there's nary a stiff breeze to report. Meteorologists say dry air is dominating the skies over the Atlantic, and it looks like it'll be on hold for at least the next 10 days with no projected named storms in sight. The Dow futures up 103 points, NASDAQ futures up 73. Up next, traffic and weather.
It's easy to put off getting life insurance, but if something happens to you, will your family be protected? The last thing you want is for them to lose the house or struggle financially. With Ethos, you can get up to $2 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online. Plus, there's no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Ethos, life insurance made easy. Get your free quote at ethos.com/easy. That's ethos.com/easy.
But I don't want to get a flu shot.
You don't want to get the flu again. It's just a teensy little poke.
Hi guys, I know you don't like needles, so I brought Fuzzy.
What is that?
It's a device that uses vibration and ice to help take the sting out of shots.
See, hun, that wasn't so bad.
Wait, you did it already?
Yep, Fuzzy helps, and Kinney is the only pharmacy that has him.
I'm going to tell everyone I know.
Great. They can schedule online at KinneyDrugs.com.
It's sunshine savings at Widget Auto Sales, the used car leader. Plenty of late model vehicles with low miles on the lot right now, like a loaded 2016 Lincoln MKX, only $15,999, or a 2020 Acura TLX, beautiful, low miles, just $27,999. A 2018 Toyota 4Runner, 59,000 miles, would look perfect in your driveway. Hey, the sun is shining at Widget Auto Sales on out of Washington Street, and see them online at widgetautosales.com, the used car leader.
Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Inbound on the 14th Street Bridge, they've cleared the crash from the center of the roadway. Still have a lot of heavy delays coming in from Edsel Road. Extra volume expected though this morning in and around that whole Pentagon area. Number of closures because of the 9/11 events, 50, 110, Washington Boulevard, and the exit ramps from 395. Those are also closed down as well. This has put extra pressure on the George Washington Parkway. It is jammed. Maryland 95 northbound residual delays into Laurel from our earlier crash. GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Windshield for some of us early this morning. We will see skies slowly give way to a little bit more sunshine as we head through the day. It'll be warmer as well as afternoon highs get into the upper 70s to lower 80s. A stray afternoon shower, but clearing skies this evening. And we're dry and seasonably warm tomorrow through the weekend. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
68 at Reagan National, John Matthews, News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knock these buildings down
Yes. 24 years ago today, the radical Islamic jihadi terrorist group Al-Qaeda attacked the United States, crashing hijacked airliners filled with innocent civilians into the World Trade Center towers and the Pentagon and a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And we had expected that we would be observing that anniversary today on our humble radio broadcast. Talked about it a couple of days ago with an FBI friend who was at the Pentagon on September 11th, 24 years ago today. I was also at the Pentagon 24 years ago today, pulling into the parking lot when the hijacked airliner hit the side of the building. But instead, today, the lead story is a Democrat Party terrorist attack, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And it is quite a situation we find ourselves with. The gunman, the assassin, still on the loose, has eluded capture. We had false reports yesterday. First, that a man had been taken into custody. This is the rifleman face down, muttering to himself, "I have the right to remain silent." And people thought, oh, it's a crazy old lefty hippie who shot Charlie Kirk. And after not very long, that individual was released by law enforcement, saying he was not the suspect or a suspect in the shooting. But then I believe he was charged with obstruction, and he's facing charges, but perhaps that was to hold him because they're still curious about him. There are a lot of questions that remain unanswered at this hour. A little bit later on last night, while law enforcement and the governor of Utah were holding a press conference, word came that Kash Patel, the FBI director, had tweeted that they had another person of interest in custody, and that kind of disrupted the press conference in Utah. Very poor coordination, no coordination at all. And then it turned out that that person, after not too long, was released as well. And I've got to say that the FBI didn't look good at all. And Kash Patel didn't look good, tweeting out they had somebody, a person of interest in custody. And then it turned out, well, we're just going to let him go because he's not a person of particular interest. And there is video that perhaps you have seen taken by a young man who was there at the rally with another young man and perhaps more people, but two young men talking. You can hear them on the cell phone video. And there is a man, I'm going to say a man, even though some people say, oh, could be a woman, because they think it's another opportunity to advance feminism, the Democrats do. And there is a man dressed in all black on the rooftop of one of the buildings at the university where the assassination took place in Utah, of all places. And the individual up there drew the attention of a couple of guys in the crowd who made video and said they should probably go let the police know. It had echoes of Butler, Pennsylvania, a year ago when President Trump was shot and nearly killed by a Democrat Party assassin, who was then, of course, killed by a Secret Service counter sniper. Another suicide attack by the Democrat Party. There have been a lot of suicide attacks by the Democrat Party, but this one is different. This is a peculiar, dare I say, unique circumstance in American political history. And there are a lot of emotions flying around. I've got to say, I saw people crying yesterday that I had never seen cry before and that I haven't seen cry in a long, long time. A very emotional event, and understandably, rightly so, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who has been vilified and demonized immediately. The blood had not dried, and MSDNC was vilifying and demonizing and demonstrating that they had no idea who he was and what he did and what kind of person he was. Because if you've ever seen his videos, and I certainly have, I've never been to any of his events where he's speaking to college students and so on, but I've certainly seen the videos. And Charlie Kirk shows up at a college campus with a smile, and a group of friendly people said they set up a tent and would talk to, engage with college students. And his rule was, and I've got to say, my best girl and I were talking about this last night, that this was my rule for years and years when I started doing radio. If you disagree with me, you go to the front of the line. If you've got some crazy Democrat Party point, then you go to the front of the line when it comes to the calls on the big board on my radio show. And Charlie Kirk's rule was when he showed up at campuses, if you disagree with me, you go to the front of the line. And he would engage with, not in a hostile way, not in an aggressive way, but with a smile and a comfortable way. He would engage with college students. And if you're a lefty, then you're invited to come up and make your point and challenge my view. And that's normal when it comes to conservatives. And it's normal. It was always normal with Charlie Kirk before he was murdered yesterday by an assassin's bullet at a crowded thousands of students at the university in Utah. And the news media was quickly saying, oh, there were hundreds of people there. They minimize, they downplay, they vilify, they demonize, they misrepresent, they falsely represent. And I think that the widow of Charlie Kirk and his two children, a girl and a boy, should sue the hell out of some of these news organizations for hundreds of millions of dollars because these news media organizations are the most corrupt organizations in the United States of America, and they fan the flames of madness in the United States quite constantly. And in fact, I was talking to my best girl about this last night as well, and I think maybe again this morning, that just in the last couple of days, yesterday or the day before, I was talking about the Democrat Party's violence and the Democrat Party's violent rhetoric. And I made note of the fact that when you demonize people, as just yesterday we played audio of these lunatics with Code Pink, which is a mental health group more than anything else, or a lack of health group, and they showed up at President Trump's dinner reservation at Joe's Seafood Stone Crab in Washington, D.C., and they got there before President Trump somehow finding out ahead of time that the president had made a reservation within the last hour. And so there was a leak, presumably from the restaurant, when the president made a reservation. And these left-wing groups showed up, and they were screaming at him that he's Hitler. And we played this audio for you yesterday. In the restaurant, the gang of mentally ill, fat, middle-aged, white, suburban college graduates who have glassy-eyed, zombie-like looks about them. And they were screaming that he's Hitler in the restaurant. And I pointed out, maybe it was even yesterday, it might have been the day before yesterday, because they do this quite constantly. And they refer to everybody as Hitler and a fascist and the end of democracy and the end of this and the end of that. And I pointed out, when you inflame their mentally ill people, then you're more likely to have violent political activity. Democrats have been rioting and looting and burning, attacking police stations and courthouses and firebombing governors' mansions and self-immolating and suicide attacks against police, mass murder in Dallas, Texas, suicide attack against 9 police killed at a Black Lives Matter rally. News media doesn't really cover it very much. A mass murder of police at Baton Rouge and another suicide attack. The attempted mass murder of Republican members of Congress on a baseball field in Alexandria, Virginia, when Steve Scalise was shot by Bernie Sanders' campaign volunteer James Hodgkinson in an attempted mass political assassination. The Democrat Party has normalized all of this over the years. They've normalized political violence. And yesterday, half of the news media representing the Democrat Party in almost every case, they were in some cases smiling and smirking and just demonizing and vilifying a person who they couldn't pick out of a lineup, I'm convinced. And this guy, what's his name? Matthew Dowd, at longtime Democrat operative, apparatchik media figure. He was on MSDNC yesterday vilifying and demonizing and blaming Charlie Kirk for being shot, demonstrating also that Dowd had no idea who Charlie Kirk was and what he said and what he represented and on and on. But that's the news media, that's the left, that's the Democrat Party. But I repeat myself, and isn't that amazing? And keep in mind, the Democrat Party has a long history. The Democrat Party assassinated the first Republican president ever, Abraham Lincoln, of course, in 1865. The Democrat Party assassinated Republican President James Garfield in 1881, not too long after the 1865 assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And then again, 20 years later in 1901, the Democrats assassinated President William McKinley. Not until John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963 was a Democrat president assassinated, and he was, of course, assassinated by a communist or by the CIA. You decide. The Democrats also shot Teddy Roosevelt when he was post-presidency and running for president again, shot Ronald Reagan and wounded him when he was president. Just for a few months, he had been president when the Democrats shot him. Their John Hinckley friend. Now they buy his T-shirts and his tickets to his fake concerts, which never come off. But Democrats buy all the tickets out anyway for John Hinckley concerts. Gerald Ford was shot at twice, once by a crazy Democrat housewife, and what was her name, Sarah Jane Moore, and once by a member of the Manson family, Lynette Squeaky Fromm. The two Democrat women tried to assassinate Gerald Ford. And John Hinckley shot and wounded Ronald Reagan along with three other people, Secret Service agent Tim McCarthy, D.C. police officer Thomas Delahanty, and, of course, White House press secretary James Brady, who was shot in the head and either nearly murdered or murdered in slow motion because he died years later, and it was related to the wounds. Isn't that amazing? And now the Democrats have assassinated Charlie Kirk, about whom they know nothing, but they're happy to vilify him and to demonize him and to blame him. And we've even got one of the Democrats blaming President Trump today because, you got to blame Trump. And that's the Democrat Party. Membership in the Democrat Party might be an official mental illness. And I've got to say, I've been talking about this even in the last couple of days. And I said in conversations with people, nothing in terms of political violence from the Democrat Party would surprise me at this point. Just yesterday, we were talking about jury selection going on in the case of the Democrat that wanted to assassinate President Trump in West Palm Beach, Florida, while he was on his golf course. Jury selection was going on. And this guy's a complete mental case, of course, but he's perfectly normal in Democrat Party circles. And jury selection is going on there. That's honestly, the first would-be assassin in Butler, Pennsylvania, who did shoot President Trump, bullet through the ear, a lot of blood. President Trump rose and pumped his fist to the crowd. That animal also killed a career firefighter at that rally. He fired a whole bunch of shots. Now, I've got to say, yesterday is peculiar for a number of reasons. And it's good that it's peculiar, of course. But a gunman showed up on a rooftop dressed all in black, according to all reports and some videotape and some witnesses, and with a rifle, fired one shot, not 8 shots, didn't empty a magazine, didn't hose the thing down. And whether I've got this FBI, retired now FBI agent talking about the skill required by the sniper from a great distance on a rooftop with a rifle, apparently wearing a black mask, black clothing, and one shot, not 3 shots, not 2 shots, not 8 shots or 10 shots, 1 shot. And then and it was through the throat. You've probably seen the video. When I saw it, I was like, I don't know how it would be a miracle if you survived that. Looked like the angle of the bullet was headed for the spinal cord, and it didn't look good from the very beginning. I'm sure you had the same experiences yesterday that I had. And now, how is it that this guy's not like a highly secured area or anything, but he shows up with a rifle, dressed like a ninja, on a rooftop, 1 shot, and kills his target? Very economical. Then he disappears. Couple of misguided grabs by law enforcement doing their best, and the gunman's still on the loose. I want to tell you about a conversation I had back and forth with a retired Army colonel friend yesterday. And who did this? The media's like, oh, we don't have a motive. You don't? First day on the planet? We're at 888-630-9625.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. 395 northbound between Duke Street and 14th Street Bridge. Very heavy traffic. Expect these delays to linger. A lot of closures around the Pentagon for the 9/11 events. Exit ramps to 110 Washington Boulevard, portion of Route 50, all closed. This has put extra pressure on the George Washington Parkway each direction. Road crews are setting up outer loop on the American Legion Bridge. Delays from the 270 spur. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny today with a high of 81, mostly clear overnight, low 59.
This week on Celeb News, the Hollywood glow up you never saw coming. It's DirecTV. They're shaking things up with flexible options that fit any kind of taste and budget. They only look like $1 million, baby. They got packs with live TV and streaming for one sexy low price. Slay! Wait, DirecTV is receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's DirecTV like you've never seen it. Visit DirecTV.com today. New residential customers. Auto renews monthly. Cancel anytime. Credit card and restrictions apply.
But I don't want to get a flu shot.
You don't want to get the flu again. It's just a teensy little poke.
Hey guys, I know you don't like needles, so I brought Buzzy.
What is that?
It's a device that uses vibration and ice to help take the sting out of shots.
See, hun, that wasn't so bad.
Wait, you did it already?
Yep, Buzzy helps. And Kinney is the only pharmacy that has him.
I'm going to tell everyone I know.
Great. They can schedule online at kinneydrugs.com.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code TASTE to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code TASTE.
Dude, guess how much I pay for $1 million term life insurance policy?
I don't know, at least $100?
Nope. I got coverage through Ethos for around $69 a month, and it's all online.
Really? Wow, I need that for my family.
Yeah, you do. That way, if something happens to you, they're protected. Ethos, life insurance made easy. Get your free quote today at ethos.com/start. That's ETHOS.com/start. Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for a 40-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly. It's sunshine savings at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Plenty of late model vehicles with low miles on the lot right now, like a loaded 2016 Lincoln MKX, only $15,999, or a 2020 Acura TLX, beautiful, low miles, just $27,999. A 2018 Toyota 4Runner, 59,000 miles, would look perfect in your driveway. Hey, the sun is shining at Widget Auto Sales on out of Washington Street, and see them online at widgetautosales.com, the used car leader.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
WMAL, making sense of the markets because generational wealth doesn't build itself. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
All right. Well, I have an absolute overabundance of things to get to. I do want to get to the telephones right away. I know people are eager to talk about this, and so am I. We've got Democrat members of Congress, Jamie Raskin, saying, well, kids were shot in Colorado today, too. I would suggest Democrats stop shooting people. Death takes a holiday. Might be a good idea if we had any Democrat Party leadership, which we don't. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Greg calling from Rockville, Maryland. Gregory, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for taking my call. Sad day yesterday. I wanted to say, I wasn't a huge, myself personally, I wasn't a huge fan of Charlie, but obviously I respected his courage to go to college campuses. When I was at the University of Maryland back in 2008, 09, we had communists that would come recruit, impressionable kids right in front of McKeldin Library on the mall in College Park there in University of Maryland. And I would debate with them and I would talk to them respectfully and they would be respectful. And college should be a place where you have respectful debate, not silencing it. And Charlie, and others, they go to colleges under extreme, personal threats and they expose people to new ideas. And that's what college is supposed to be. And so the fact that he was silenced like this is just heinous. Free speech is a bedrock of a free society, and none of us are gonna stand for that. There's millions of us. The far left might want free speech, restrictions. It's not gonna happen. Not in America. You are free to express your opinion. Speech is not violence. It's the opposite of violence. So, R.I.P. Charlie, and I'm very sad that this happened, on a campus, but I give him credit for going there.
Yeah, that's right. He was a smart, very capable, relaxed, comfortable in his own skin, young man who started in political activism when he was 18 years old and founding Turning Point USA. And it is a major force in American politics. People, particularly of a certain generation, raised, and you said, I think you're in that age group, but you said you were never really involved in that stuff. And that's fine, obviously. But Charlie Kirk was out there talking to young people on campuses. And I got to say, one of the things that I said to my best girl last night, Greg, is that this likely will lead to 10 million young people across America becoming Republicans for life because of this assassination. Now, listen, Greg, I've got an update for you from Utah, the head of the state police there, and they have found the rifle. That's coming up.
This is the Chris Plant Show.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadith Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Scheduled closures around the Pentagon for 9/11 events, and that includes exit ramps coming off of 395, getting to Washington Boulevard, 110, a portion of 50. And that's all closed, scheduled through the morning. Expect heavy delays. 395, we're still stop and go back at Duke Street. Residual Bellway delays, interlooping the Annandale from the earlier crash. Road crews are set up outer loop on the American Legion Bridge, blocking the left lane, jammed off of the 270 spur. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny today with a high of 81, mostly clear overnight, low 59.
But I don't want to get a flu shot.
You don't want to get the flu again. It's just a teensy little poke.
Hi guys, I know you don't like needles, so I brought Fuzzy.
What is that?
It's a device that uses vibration and ice to help take the sting out of shots.
See, hon, that wasn't so bad.
Wait, You did it already?
Yep, Fuzzy helps. And Kinney is the only pharmacy that has him.
I'm going to tell everyone I know.
Great. They can schedule online at KinneyDrugs.com.
It's sunshine savings at Wichita
Aye.
Sales, the used car leader. Plenty of
Aye.
vehicles with low miles on the lot right now, like a loaded 2016 Lincoln MKX, only $15,999, or a 2020 Acura TLX, beautiful, low miles, just $27,999. A 2018 Toyota 4Runner, 59,000 miles, would look perfect in your driveway. Hey, the sun is shining at Widget Auto Sales on out of Washington Street, and see them online at widgetautosales.com. The used car leader.
You know a safe-ish home security solution when you see one. The stuff that kind of seems like it works, but doesn't. The key under your welcome mat, the security camera that isn't a real camera, the guard dog on duty sign when everyone knows the dog is Mr. Buttons. The thing is, safe-ish doesn't actually keep you and your home safe, but ADT can help with smart, easy-to-use security you can rely on. Don't settle for safe-ish. Get ADT.
Banking has its perks. We make sure of it. Open an account with Community Bank and get the features that work for you, including higher rates on CDs, lower rates on personal loans, early pay up to 1 day sooner. You'll even get a free Greenlight subscription. Crush your financial goals and open the right account for you. Stop into a local branch or visit cbna.com/bankhappyperks to open your account today. Conditions and restrictions apply. Member FDIC.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meter beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
Honey, the power's out.
Flashlight's dead. Can't find batteries.
Hey neighbors, want to borrow my Star Patrol spotlight?
That flashlight lights up the whole house.
Watch, the Star Patrol can light up the whole neighborhood. It can illuminate up to a half-mile away.
A half mile? That's insanely bright.
And the Turbo Boost increases brightness up to 100%.
Oh, now that's insanely bright.
With 10 illumination modes, the Star Patrol is a flashlight, spotlight, floodlight, emergency light, and more. And with an ultra-fast USB power bank, you can even charge your phone with it. Plus, the Star Patrol is fully rechargeable and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
So how do I get one of these Star Patrols?
Go to GetStarPatrol.com and you'll get it with free Turbo Boost, free shipping, and a money-back guarantee. Again, that's GetStarPatrol.com. GetStarPatrol.com.
WMAL, making sense of the vote because elections have consequences. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
All right, I have, again, a press conference held in Utah moments ago, and Bo Mason, who is the commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety, which is essentially the state police, as I understand it, in Utah, and the head is a guy named Bo Mason. He was briefing yesterday as well out of Utah. Again, today is September 11th, the 24th anniversary of the terrorist attacks by Al-Qaeda, launching us into decades of war. And yesterday, the media is very upset that President Trump blamed the Democrats and the left and their rhetoric And President Trump released a video yesterday, and I got to say it was on point and it was tough, and the Democrats are very angry. It's like, oh yeah, it's Trump's rhetoric that's leading to all the violence. Is it really Trump's rhetoric that's leading to all the violence? You guys shooting Congressman Steve Scalise, a Bernie Sanders campaign volunteer named James Hodgkinson, baseball field in Alexandria, Virginia, trying to mow down the entire baseball field of Republican members of Congress, of the House and the Senate, until he was gunned down by police, thankfully. James Hodgkinson, a Democrat. And the list goes on and on. You know, and he, by the way, was inspired largely by MSNBC and Rachel Maddow. He was James Hodgkinson, who shot Congressman Steve Scalise, big MSNBC and Rachel Maddow guy, and Southern Poverty Law Center fan as well, left-wing front group, pretending to be a legitimate organization, honestly. And the list goes on and on and on of Democrat acts of political violence, their riots and their St. George Floyd and burning cities to the ground from coast to coast in the United States because a career criminal junkie died of cardiac failure while resisting arrest. The Democrats imprisoned the police officer, Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin was stabbed in prison by a Democrat 22 times and barely survived. But never mind that. And the Democrats have been self-immolating at the Israeli embassy because they're so anti-Israel, at the Israeli consulate in Atlanta, at the Israeli consulate in Boston. Democrats self-immolating at the Supreme Court on Earth Day because he was angry about people putting smoke into the air, so he set himself on fire. A Democrat self-immolating at the Trump trial in New York, surrounded by TV cameras, set himself on fire, killed himself because Trump, orange man bad. Another Democrat self-immolating with he rented a Tesla truck, loaded it with nail bombs, went to the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, and blew himself up. Fortunately, he was the only one killed, but another suicide attack and attempted mass murder. The Democrat Party has normalized all of this, honestly. And you guys, Democrats are shooting up people on weekends in Chicago. 8 dead this weekend, 6 dead last weekend. And the Democrat Party thinks all that's fine. If you want to fight crime, they want to fight you. There's something wrong with these people. They're not liberals. They're left. But with that said, let me get to the latest updates. And there's a lot. I got to tell you, we had some back and forth last night on text threads, as you might imagine. I'm sure you did too. And a lot of them going back and forth. Remarkable things being said all over the place by the left, by the media. But I repeat myself, isn't it amazing? And there was a tweet from last night, and it's our guy McGill's again. McGill's, and my friend Matthew Foldy shared this with me last night. The tweet from McGill's last night was, "I don't think they understand that Charlie was the nice version. I don't think they understand that Charlie was the nice version." And I think that is absolutely true, that the left, they're very violent, criminally insane, bloodthirsty. They're the left. No group of people in the history of humankind has murdered more people than the left. Just start the clock at the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 in St. Petersburg. I think Bernie Sanders was there. And and it's true, as McGill says, I don't think they, the left, the Democrats, I don't think they understand that Charlie was the nice version. Also make note, and this is something that went back and forth last night and this morning as well. When George Floyd died while resisting arrest of cardiac failure with fentanyl and methamphetamine in his system after committing another felony in his long list of felonies in his adult lifetime, the Democrats by now were burning Seattle and Portland and Minneapolis, and the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, who became the vice presidential running mate to Kamala Harris. Remember, his wife, Tim Walz's wife, said that she was leaving their windows open in Minneapolis at night to smell the city burning. And she liked the smell of the city burning from the Democrats rioting because a career criminal junkie had died of cardiac failure while resisting arrest. And the Democrat Party, they celebrate him. He's a hero. He's a hero to them. He's a saint. And again, Ryan Ruth, who wanted to assassinate President Trump in Florida on the golf course, in court yesterday and the day before. But his son, Oran, couldn't join him because his son, Oran, is in prison for child porn. Also, just in the last week or so, when was the Minneapolis Catholic school mass shooting, where a transgender Democrat showed up and opened fire on a Catholic church filled with children who were praying, murdering 2 of them, wounding, I believe, 17 other people. And, and that's a tranny. And the news media dropped that like it was a flaming hot potato because it doesn't fit the Democrat Party narrative. And they've dropped this one with DeCarlos Brown after he murdered again, another guy with how many 14 prior arrests and mental illness and schizophrenia, a run-of-the-mill Democrat who butchered, savagely murdered Irina Zarutska, a refugee from the war in Ukraine. And we're still kind of breathing hard from that one when, the school shooting we had just recovered from, and this butchery, this murder. But you got to keep in mind, this is a party that loves George Floyd and Luigi Mangione. Honestly, they make a hero out of the Justice Department criminal that threw his foot-long Subway sandwich at a federal law enforcement agent in Washington, D.C. And then a Democrat grand jury in Washington said, well, we're not gonna prosecute that. That's no problem. Just keep doing that. You want more of the same? Just ask the Democrats. Joker Zarnaev of the radical Islamic jihadi terrorist with his brother, Tamerlan Zarnaev, blew up the Boston Marathon, blowing people to bits. And the Democrats put Joker Zarnaev, then he ran over his brother and killed him, thankfully, a step saver. And the Democrats put him on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, Joker Zarnaev. The Democrat Party is a violent party. And they always have been. Look, again, Democrats assassinated Abraham Lincoln, President of the United States, 1865, because John Wilkes Booth loved slavery. And then in 1881, not too long later, 1865 to 1881, James Garfield, Republican president, assassinated. Then in 1901, 20 years after that, Republican President William McKinley was assassinated. And then it was another 42 years before John F. Kennedy was assassinated by a communist, I might add. In the meantime, Teddy Roosevelt had been shot and wounded as former president. He was running again. And, then later on, Gerald Ford shot at twice by Squeaky Fromm of the Manson gang, Lynette Squeaky Fromm, and by Sarah Jane Moore, a disgruntled Democrat housewife. Then Ronald Reagan was shot in Washington, D.C. months into his term as president of the United States. And then on September 10th of 2025, that's yesterday, Charlie Kirk was assassinated by an assailant unknown, still on the loose at this moment in time. And there's another thing. James Earl Ray, you may know his name. He assassinated, of course, some very well-known Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968. And that was April 4th in Memphis. And do you know that James Earl Ray eluded capture and was not captured in the United States? That he was captured, again, April 4th of 1968. James Earl Ray shot and killed Martin Luther King. And not until June 8th was James Earl Ray captured. And he was captured, arrested at Heathrow Airport in London. Now, again, that's pretty amazing. April 4th, the beginning of April. And then May, the entire month of May. Most of the month of June, basically the entire month of June. Then the entire month of May. And then June, 8 days, another week into June, when James Earl Ray, who had escaped, eluded capture, was arrested at Heathrow Airport in London. That's not taught in school. Most people don't remember that if you ever learned it in the first place. But that's pretty amazing stuff. And now this gunman is on the loose so far. And with that said, let's go to the press conference now from Utah, just held moments ago. Bo Mason, the commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety, which is kind of like the Texas state police. It's the state police. And Bo Mason.
Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., this subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus into a neighborhood.
Jumped off of. So a young man, able-bodied, capable young man. They've got presumably videos of him entering the campus, 11:52 a.m., the stairwells to the roof. It's not like it was being monitored with presidential-style security. They went back and looked after the fact, and this is what they found, and they're tracking him. His name is Bo Mason.
We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We're working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we're confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately.
Honestly, it's got to be a tough one for him, because if you do put video of the guy out, who knows what the consequences of that might be. If they think they're hot on the trail, if they have video, if they have a car. They said that he retreated into the woods near the school. They've also found a firearm, a rifle, and they're not saying right now that it's definitely the rifle. That might be somebody else left a rifle in the woods near the college. So, but they don't want to. Yesterday, there were a couple of false starts by the FBI and by Kash Patel saying we've got somebody in custody, and it's like, oh, thank God they've arrested the guy, right? And then it's like, oh, we let him go. And I got to say, when I saw that, I texted and I said to my best girl, that was an incredibly stupid, inept, incompetent a thing for Kash Patel and the FBI to do. They look like idiots, and it was very, very poorly mismanaged, I've got to say. Also, this morning at the press conference in Utah, an FBI agent, Robert Bowles.
This morning, I can tell you that heinous crime and find out why they did it. This morning, I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. So the FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
Footwear impression, forearm impression. Look, it sounds like they're working the case, and I got to say again, it's not a highly secure environment. It's not presidential security. It's a college campus with Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk. Shouldn't be need for presidential security, but it turns out that the bloodthirsty ghouls of the left are out to get everyone, and this is pretty sick. And again, they silenced him because he was a clear, cogent voice who reaching young people for years. The Democrat Party very angry about it. The left, violent political death cult. And I got to say that this is an epic moment. Yesterday, we tweeted a few things out, and one of the things I said, this would be a good time for Democrat Party leadership to step up and calm the waters and rein in their rhetoric. And instead, what they've done is they've firebombed it like it's a Jewish governor's house, because the Democrat Party is not on our side. Let's go to the telephones, Mike. Let's go to Glenn calling from Herndon, Virginia. Glenn, you are on the Chris Plant Show.
Thanks, Chris. Very obviously 2 very tough days, and as you mentioned, tough weeks. Just absorbing all of this. And I was, going back and forth last night with a number of people. As you just mentioned, he was murdered because of the threat that he was for inviting people on all sides, particularly on the opposite side, young people, to come and engage. And that's diametrically opposed to the indoctrination at the places where he was doing this. So he was, and I'm not mistaken, I think, and one of Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals is you got to own the kids. And they saw that ownership slipping away. And along these lines, one of the persons I was back and forth with, nice person, they said, I can't continue to just say, I agree to disagree with the party, conservatives, Republicans, who knows, libertarians. I can't continue to agree to disagree with the party that sows hate and division. And I've said for years, never let this group, the leftists, claim any kind of moral high ground on anything. And so I retorted, whoa, wait a second. Isn't murder the ultimate form of sowing hate and division? And of course, I've not gotten a response.
Well, I got to tell you, Glenn, you're certainly not alone. These conversations are being had all over the country. We have a family thread, my best girl's family. I'm going to clear my family of this, but family thread, my best girl's family, and one and only one young man in that thread has been quite a loose cannon since this happened, and parroting all the Democrat Party talking points dutifully, faithfully. And there are millions like him around the country, glassy-eyed zombie army. And boy, do I have a lot more coming up here.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. 395 North slows leaving the Beltway to Edsel Road. Second set of delays, King Street. And that heavy volume takes you across the 14th Street Bridge. A lot of closures around the Pentagon with 9/11 events scheduled through the morning. Exit ramps off of 395 closed. No access onto Washington Boulevard. 110 George Washington Parkway's picked up a lot of the extra volume. Road crews are set up on the Beltway outer loop at the American Legion Bridge. Inner loop to McLean. Now from Garage Door Repair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly sunny today with a high of 81, mostly clear overnight, low 59.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seriously buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
But I don't want to get a flu shot.
You don't want to get the flu again. It's just a teensy little poke.
Hi guys, I know you don't like needles, so I brought Buzzy.
What is that?
It's a device that uses vibration and ice to help take the sting out of shots.
See, hon, that wasn't so bad.
Wait, you did it already?
Yep, Buzzy helps. And Kinney is the only pharmacy that has him.
I'm going to tell everyone I know.
Great. They can schedule online at KinneyDrugs.com.
Honey, the power's out.
Flashlight's dead. Can't find batteries.
Hey neighbors, want to borrow my Star Patrol spotlight?
That flashlight lights up the whole house.
Watch, the Star Patrol can light up the whole neighborhood. It can illuminate up to a half-mile away.
A half mile? That's insanely bright.
And the Turbo Boost increases brightness up to 100%.
Oh, now that's insanely bright.
With 10 illumination modes, the Star Patrol is a flashlight, spotlight, floodlight, emergency light, and more. And with an ultra-fast USB power bank, you can even charge your phone with it. Plus, the Star Patrol is fully rechargeable and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
So how do I get one of these Star Patrols?
Go to GetStarPatrol.com and you'll get it with free Turbo Boost, free shipping, and a money-back guarantee. Again, that's GetStarPatrol.com. GetStarPatrol.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was.
I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/day to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/day for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's sunshine savings at Widget Auto Sales, the used car leader. Plenty of late model vehicles with low miles on the lot right now, like a loaded 2016 Lincoln MKX, only $15,999. Or a 2020 Acura TLX, beautiful, low miles, just $27,999. A 2018 Toyota 4Runner, 59,000 miles, would look perfect in your driveway. Hey, the sun is shining at Widget Auto Sales on out of Washington Street, and see them online at widgetautosales.com, the used car leader.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
WMAL, making sense of the headlines, because common sense isn't so common. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
I've got amazing, appalling, horrifying audio of the Democrats, meaning mostly the news media, but Democrat members of Congress too, who continue to incite because they're the left, they're not liberals. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Mark, calling from Largo, Maryland. Marcus, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
How's everything going?
Well, you know, crazy day.
It is. This is sad. I wasn't a big look. I'm gonna be up forthcoming. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I'm an independent.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Charlie's passion towards America, and I'm an American, and I love America, and I love how he's just a kid, man. He's 31 years old. He hasn't even lived his full life yet. But the real issue, Chris, is not left, it's not right. This is about, and it's point blank, this is about the demonic Democratic Party. That if you're going to root for satanic stuff, that's the Democratic Party. And the Republican Party that needs to get more involved with Christianity, and that's what Charlie stood for. And I think what's sad in this country right now, and I said this to the screen caller, if I was President Trump right now, I would do an executive order to make every state a carry state. Every state. Because the Democrats will sit up and say, oh, well, we need to do something about gun laws. Yes, we do. Everybody needs to carry.
Well, I gotta tell you, Mark, I love your passion. You talk about Charlie's passion, and you keep it up, and, we could hang out.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. The search is on for the person who shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk in Orem, Utah yesterday. Law enforcement officials say they were able to track the shooter's movement after the shooting.
After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
Utah Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason.
We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this. Every investigator, every local agency, we are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual.
The FBI says it's also recovered the weapon used in the shooting. This is, of course, September 11th. President Trump began speaking moments ago at the Pentagon, speaking not of September 11th, but of Charlie Kirk.
We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd.
New York City's annual September 11th ceremony is underway.
Almost 3,000 people who were killed in the attacks of September 11th, 2001 are being remembered today at what's known as Ground Zero, the site where the Twin Towers stood. 6 moments of silence are being observed, one each for the exact times the World Trade Center towers were struck by hijacked planes, one for the Pentagon, one for the Shanksville, Pennsylvania crash, and one each for the times when the towers fell. The names of those who were killed are being read as survivors, family members, and first responders gather here at the Memorial Plaza. At the 9/11 Memorial in Lower Manhattan, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The end of the emergency order for D.C. crime protection does not impact the D.C. National Guard, which is remaining on active duty. 7 News' Christian Flores.
The director of D.C. National Guard sent an email to ANC commissioners in some of the city's poorest and crime-ridden areas, offering manpower for cleanup and improvement projects.
But Ward 8 leaders who were already angry that troops never came to fight crime have turned down the offer.
I'm not afraid of trash on the street, but I am afraid of a militarized presence.
We don't need the National Guard in the community to help with beautification. The National Guard is supposed to be here for natural disasters, states of emergency.
A rare no vote on a proposed data center project in Bristow this week has Prince William supervisors rethinking their business priorities in the county.
The data centers have eaten up Innovation Park. And so that's why we lose companies like AstraZeneca, when we could be having more jobs come into this county because we keep hitting the easy button.
Supervisor Tom
Okay,
Gordon
yeah,
knows
I
the
got a
data
thing I
centers
gotta
bring
fill
lots
out
of
and
tax
send back
dollars,
to
but
him, but
not many post-construction jobs.
my deal with them starts on the 1st of January.
Residential and economic opportunities.
Prince William
Give
County
me a
is
few minutes
expecting
and I'll
an
be up.
influx of over 200,000 over the next 2 decades.
Okay,
Barbara
I got a
WNL,
motorcycle, so I can get around pretty
Montgomery
fast
County
now.
Police have arrested a 67-year-old
Yeah, my nephew's
Montgomery
been
Village
letting me
man who
use
was
his
seen
bike.
driving a van that was mocked up to
Sitting
look like a
sitting out in
police
the yard
vehicle,
right
complete
now,
with
so
blue
I'll get
and red
around.
flashing
I'll come
lights.
up. You're gonna be in the
All of
office
this
then, right?
in his arrest caught on a Montgomery County
Okay,
Police
Diane.
body cam.
I'll be up. Thanks. Bye.
Police also got things like a baton, handcuffs, and a taser, even a fake gun. Duncan now charged with impersonating a police officer. The Dow's up 475 points. NASDAQ's up 85. Traffic and weather now.
Are your pages
All right, I gotta go.
struggling to drive real growth? Viant helps you reach more of your audience right where they're watching. Streaming TV.
I'll be back later. I gotta go. That phone call says I gotta go. No one's trying to break you up, Wiggin. You made a total ass of yourself on JC's. I did the right thing. Despite all the talk and everything, I've never timed JC out. I've never panned her. She's always been welcome to come up on my panel. There's just a calm over me today. Wiggin, I'd fucking tie you up in knots. You're a dumb fuck and you're a weakling. And nothing brave about you at all. You're an ignorant motherfucker, Wiggin, and I'll be back to fucking remind you of it.